Hello everyone and welcome to the RV Inspection and Care channel. I'm Dwayne and I'm a certified RV inspector. And today we're going to be talking about the top 10 accessories that we use on a regular basis that cost less than $50. I know that RVing has a lot of things that can cost you quite a bit, but there's also plenty of accessories and items for RVing that really don't cost very much but make a huge difference in your RVing experiences. So let's get started on our list of the best RV accessories under $50. And number one on the list is this book. It was written by my good friends Mark and Julie Bennett of RV Love, and it's entitled RV Hacks, 400 plus ways to make life on the road easier, safer, and more fun. I've been going through it, and let me tell you, I've already learned some things myself. There's some ideas in here that I'm going to be putting in practice myself in my own RVing adventures, and I highly recommend it for anyone out there. It doesn't matter what your experience level is, you can benefit from the book. Even if you're a newbie RVer or if you've been around for years, you're going to get a lot of good information in here. So this is a great way to add to your RVing experiences for not a lot of money. Now, second on the list is this little item right here, an Amazon Fire Stick. You know, we've been working hard to get our internet right so that wherever we travel across the country, we pretty much now have pretty good internet wherever we go. One of the advantages of doing that is that you can stream things from online. You can stream movies, television shows, all sorts of things using apps like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and so on. And this little device just does it all. So simple, it's so small, very convenient. It has been through everything and stood up to it all. So we're very happy about having it. I can highly recommend it to you. Doesn't cost much at all, but it'll really provide a world of information at your fingertips. And, you know, if you're not into Amazon Fire Sticks, well, Roku's will do the job as well, and they're also very inexpensive. So either way you go, this is a really good investment. Number 3 on the list is this, a Life Straw water filter. And, you know, if you followed us for any length of time, you know that we're kind of a nut about water. We really want good water, especially drinking water. And the reason for that is because going around the country, some of these campgrounds have really nasty water in it. I guess they're really just putting it up to you to take care of making sure you have clean water. So if that's the case, you need to do that. And so for our drinking water, we've been using the Berkey water filter. And if you know anything about it, you know it's really great. We've really liked it. But I've had some of folks tell us that, hey, Dwayne, you know, Berkeys are great, but they're expensive. And they are. They've got a point there. They're probably up around $300 or more now. So is there a way to get really good filtration for less? The good news is, yes, the Life Straw water pitcher filter really fits that need really well. We have actually put it into our filtration system. After the water comes out of the Berkey, it goes through the Life Straw. Let me tell you, I've never had such clean water in my life, but it really does work. It works well. It has a 2-stage filter, filters out not only sediments and chemicals, but also bacterial matters and compounds. So it's a really good filter, and here's the great part, it costs just a fraction of what the Berkey does. So if you've been holding back on the Berkey because of the cost, I highly recommend the Life Straw water pitcher filter. All right, next on the list is, and I'm just going to show you a picture of this one, is our water hose, our flexible water hose. And the reason why this is so good is because you need to have a drinking water approved hose for RVing. Well, those kind of hoses can be kind of stiff, especially in cold weather. When you go to wind or unwind that hose, man, that can be a real experience. And so I said to myself, there just has to be a better way. Kept waiting. Sure enough, out comes these flexible water hoses that are drinking water safe. And boy, they have made setup and tear down for my water system on the campsite very fast, very easy, and almost no irritation whatsoever. So I highly recommend. Again, it's not an expensive thing. Get the longest one you can find, in my opinion, because believe me, sooner or later, you're going to need that extra length for your water hose if you go around to very many campgrounds. But it really works well. Highly recommend it. Next on the list is a really simple and cheap item. This 90-degree water elbow for their faucet. Why would you need this? Don't ask me why, but there's a lot of campgrounds that put the water faucet right down by the ground. You might even have a hard time just connecting your hose up to it, much less anything else like a water filter. Well, this makes it easy. You just put that right on the faucet itself, and now instead of the water going straight down, it goes out this way. You've got plenty of room to attach a filter or whatever you want to put on that connection there. So it really is a neat little product. I've used it I don't know how many times, and it's cheap as dirt. All right, the next one is, I'm going to show you a picture of this one too. It's a Y splitter for my water system, and it goes on the faucet. I have used this I don't know how many times because it's amazing how often you need another hose for your RV, to wash something off, to rinse something, to fill up a bucket, whatever around the RV. Well, if you don't have this Y splitter, you have to disconnect your water hose, use it, and then connect it back up again. I mean, it's doable, but it's so simple just to go over through the Y splitter, turn a little valve, and you've got water coming out of another hose. It's that easy, that simple. I use it all the time, so I highly recommend it. Next on the list, I got to reach down and get this. It's this little product, a watering can for your batteries, your RV batteries. And, you're probably thinking, hey, watering can for batteries? Well, if you don't boondock a lot, the truth is you don't need lithium batteries. They're nice, they're great, but they're expensive. And actually lead acid batteries, the technology in them are tried and true for many, many years. They work great if you spend most of your time in campgrounds. But they have a couple of little drawbacks, and one of them is that you got to make sure they stay filled with water correctly because it does evaporate out. So how do you do that? Well, a lot of folks wonder that. When you take off the cap on each cell, how far do you fill it to make sure it's right? Well, the good news is that this watering can makes it right every single time. Just fill it with distilled water. You put this end in the cell, and when you're doing that, you put it in that way, and then you depress this part of it, and it automatically fills that cell to the right spot every time. It's very simple, very easily. I water my batteries in 5 minutes. That's how simple and easy it is. Cheap little product that really does a good job. Now, the next one on the list is this little thing. And you may wonder what in the world that is. Well, your RV vents. If you have a fantastic vent, if you have just a regular vent that's one of those 14-inch size vents, if you look up in there, you'll notice there's no insulation whatsoever. So if you get in temperature extremes, really hot weather, really cold weather, you're going to be losing a lot through those vents, either a lot of hot air or warm air or cool air, depending on the time of the year. And there's just no way to prevent it unless you have some way to insulate it. This works great. You just take it, stuff it right up there in that vent, and now instead of no insulation, you have super insulation in your vent. And it works great. It doesn't take up a lot of room, and we've used it often. All right, next on the list is Fast Finish. This is a great product. Again, if you've seen any of my older videos, I did several about how that I try to take care of the outside of my RV, and I have a system that I use where I can do my RV in an hour or so, very simply, very easily. Don't have to use any ladders, or I don't even have to use water in many cases. And it works great. Anybody can do it. In fact, this is the video here where you can check out my system on how I do that. But the materials that I use, the products I use for that, usually the wash and wax products only last about a month, maybe 2 months at the most. So I need to extend that protection. I really want the outside of my RV protected, you know? And that's what this product does from Meguiar's. It's a synthetic wax. It says on that it'll actually go 12 months. I don't really believe that. But I will say that from my experience that it easily goes 6 months to even more of really good, solid UV and weather protection. So I apply this when it's clean, when the RV is clean, and then I don't have to worry about it from there on. Whatever wash and wax product I use in between just adds to the protection as it goes. So I highly recommend it. This is not a lot of money. It is so easy to put on. It's just spray and wipe. I mean, that's as easy as it is. All right, so the next one on our list is this one here. It's Happy Camper, and this goes in your waste tanks. I know there's a ton of these products out there that perfume your waste tanks. You know, they try to make them smell better, but they don't really work, in my opinion, as well as I would like them to. But when I came across Happy Camper, whole different story. It works on a different principle. It actually has ingredients in it that break down the waste inside your gray tank and inside your black tank. And by the way, it can be used in either one of them. And it therefore makes the tanks not smell as bad. And it also protects the sidewalls of your tanks from having buildup. And therefore, your sensors, your tank sensors, work longer, and you don't have as much problems with them. And that's a big issue for a lot of people, is their tank sensors just get covered with whatever's in the tank and just doesn't work very much anymore. So this can help you solve that problem and keep your odor issues well under control. We like it, and we recommend it to you as well. All right, well, those are the best low-cost RV accessories that we felt we could recommend to you at this point, and we're very happy to recommend them. I'm going to put links to all of them in the description below, and then you can go check them out. Check out the reviews on it, see what you think. Is it something that you could use? Well, you can decide. If it isn't, that's fine, but these are things we love to share with others as we go along in our RV travels. Now, what about you? Have you found some accessories that you have been using in your RV life that has worked out really well for you, and it's really cheap? I just use $50 as a ceiling, but whatever you feel works really well, but that doesn't cost very much. Can you share that with us? The more we share our knowledge with others, it benefits all of us. Nobody knows everything, but together we can learn an awful lot from each other's experiences, and it makes our RV life so much better. Well, that's it for now. Have safe and happy travels, my friends. Until next time.